Top 3 superfoods for diabetes management. We often tend to use these herbs and superfoods as a magical remedy. Like, when someone has diabetes, get up in the morning and drink this super kada, and that'll take your diabetes away. They are not like that. Certain plants do have medicinal properties, and they are used as adaptogenic plants, and they are used often also by Ayurveda and traditional Chinese medicine. In fact, this was medicine years ago when we didn't have modern medicine. A lot of the modern medicines are also based on herbal plants, but you still want to make sure you're following a healthy lifestyle, you're still making nutritional changes, and you're still working on your physical fitness. I have curated a 6-week guided diabetes management program where we take two changes in your lifestyle on a weekly basis, and only these small lifestyle changes has a huge impact in terms of your blood glucose levels. But if we had to include plants, what are 3 super plants you can include that have been scientifically proven to help with diabetes management? The first one is kalonji, black cumin, also known as Nigella sativa. Now, this is native to the Mediterranean region. It's also pretty popular in the south, in India, and kalonji seeds have been used as form of diabetes management for centuries now. Ayurveda also prescribes and talks about the use of kalonji seeds for diabetes management. They are very, very powerful. Kalonji, in fact, is known as the queen of herbs. It's so potent, and it's not only helpful in terms of diabetes management, but also weight loss and cholesterol. In fact, there was one interesting study which I'll link below for you, which showed that just by adding kalonji seeds to your diet and less than like 1/4 of a teaspoon, very, very little, participants saw more weight loss than the group which did not have kalonji seeds in a span of 3 months. By adding something that is adding more calories to your food, people saw more weight loss. So it is really interesting, right? And this is probably also how it acts for diabetes management. It helps you drive your body weight down. And when your body weight drops, you also see a difference in terms of your HbA1c and fasting blood glucose levels. How much should you be taking? Not much. 1/4 of a teaspoon per day is more than enough. 1/4 of a teaspoon, the small spoon. And the best way to add it on top of your salads, soups, sabzis, whatever you're making, just have a salt and pepper shaker filled with kalonji seeds and just sprinkle some on top of your food. I do insist every time we talk about seeds, you powder it, because the seeds are so tiny, it just makes its way through your digestive tract. You're not getting the best absorption. It's not the most bioavailable. That is, the nutrients are not available for your body to absorb as better. But when powdered, it becomes a little bit more bioavailable. So make sure that you have a salt and pepper shaker and you just shake some kalonji seeds. If it's such a small, simple fix to help you start seeing your blood glucose levels down, you should try it. Number 2, flax seeds. Again, flax seeds are very tiny. So you also want to make sure that, you make it into a powder, but don't make too much powder at once. Maybe a week's worth flaxseed powder made once in a week, and then you make a fresh batch every week. If you're storing it for too long, it tends to oxidize, come in contact with the air and oxidizes, and then it loses a lot of its beneficial properties. Flax seeds have a particular type of phytoestrogen called lignans, which is very, very beneficial to the body. It helps in terms of reducing inflammation and also helps in terms of reducing your blood glucose, fasting blood glucose levels. Flax seeds are naturally very high in fiber also. And fiber, as we all know, or if you haven't seen my previous video on lifestyle changes for diabetes management, you should watch that. Fiber plays a very important role in terms of cleaning your body of intramyocellular fat cells, thus making you more insulin sensitive. One of the reasons you should be adding flaxseed to your diet. How much to have? About a tablespoon of flaxseed powder, and if you go a little bit higher, that's okay too. 2 tablespoons of flaxseed powder per day is great. One of the best ways to make it is flaxseed laddus, or just having the powder mixed in with your smoothie. Maybe the powder added into your soups, any way you like it. But make sure you make a change where it becomes a permanent part of your lifestyle. Not that you did it for a week and then you stop doing it. That has no benefits. Number 3, cinnamon. Not as strongly associated with reducing diabetes management, but strongly associated in terms of reducing your blood glucose spike after a meal. So after a meal, when you see your blood glucose spiking, cinnamon can help you shun a little bit of that blood glucose spike. A lot of herbs and spices have this medicinal property. Ceylon cinnamon specifically, the one found in Sri Lanka, you get from Sri Lanka. It's a little bit more expensive also. you want to use that particular kind. How much do you need? Again, not too much, just a sprinkle, and don't do more. More is not necessarily always good when it comes to herbs and spices, just because they're so potent and so strong. Sometimes it does irritate your gut lining. So just a sprinkle, this one, just sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon in your main meals. So if my main meal is my lunch, then I'll sprinkle it on my lunch, your heaviest meal, when I say your main meal. And it helps control a little bit of the blood glucose spike, which happens right after the meal. So these are the top 3 herbs and spices which I highly insist you include for diabetes management. Once again, in my 6-week curated program for diabetes management, we go through 6 herbs and spices and see how we can make that a lifestyle itself, which is very, very important. There are small changes in the house, not too many things, small changes in the house, but it has a huge impact when it comes to your lifestyle. Hope this helps.